Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3rd, to disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before that, may I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय जय सदानंद दास प्रभु शिकागो हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Arvindaksha Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Krishna Mataji, this is Bala Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Bala Vrinda. Welcome to the call. Thank you for joining in.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devi Dasi from Melbourne.
Hare Krishna Indulekha Karuna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and all glories to your wonderful services to the group. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
All glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every single day, blessing all of us with your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shyamagari Devidasi from Charlotte, and thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful services.
Hare Krishna Shyamagauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for allowing me to serve Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji and all devotees. My sincere congratulations to all the people assembled here. I'm Sudhakar joining from Saudi Arabia.
Hare Krishna Sudhakar Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining every day and asking wonderful questions. And thank you for your service to Bhakti Sangha. Very grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sanatana Dharma Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 7th chapter, 43 and 44th verse. Before we hand over the call to Prabhuji, I request Sudhakar Prabhuji to take over from here and give a brief introduction of Sanatana Dharma Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji and devotees. His Grace Sanatana Dharma Prabhuji is a brahmachari monk and is a disciple of His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaji. Prabhuji has been practicing in Bhakti for more than 2 decades. Prabhuji is also professor of higher Vedic sciences and also an ex-manager in the Tata Motors. Prabhuji has completed his B.Tech from the NIT Trichy graduate and is also a graduate in the guitar from the Trinity School of Music, London. Prabhuji has rendered varieties of the services in the past, like college preaching, youth mentoring, congregation preaching, center head, youth preaching, secretary and director. Prabhuji has completed various courses like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, teachers training courses at all levels, and now teaches them to the variety of the audiences. As a leadership expert, Prabhuji is a youth counselor and a spiritual mentor. He has been guiding countless individuals within and out of ISKCON for more than 15 years. Prabhuji is also through his program Yoga for the Modern Age seminars he conducts. He has inspired and trained more than 100,000 students and corporate professionals also. Prabhuji is also the host in the Hare Krishna TV program for CD Bar Prabhu Ke Saath, where he continues to share his deep spiritual insight. Prabhuji also loves to perform his kirtans with his harmonium and guitar. With this introduction, I'm back to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that brief introduction. And we have our Sukaka Krishna Prabhuji. He's celebrating his birthday today. I would like to wish him Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Happy Krishna conscious birthday to you. I request everybody please wish him.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Happy Krishna Krishna conscious.
conscious birthday, Prabhuji.
Sure. Happy Krishna conscious birthday. Haribol.
Thank you,
Krishna
Prabhuji, for
Prabhuji.
your association and
Krishna conscious birthday,
encouragement.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Happy birthday to
Hare
you,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Happy Krishna conscious birthday to you.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday, Prabhuji.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not able to unmute, maybe. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Able to
Happy
hear my
birthday
voice?
to you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your
Speaker
association. Thank you
ಇಲ್ಲಿ
for encouraging all of us.
2 minutes ಮಂಡಿ 4 minutes அந்த பகுதியில் டைம் ஆயிடும்.
Okay, so we will start the class here. I think Prabhuji has some difficulty. He always encourages all of us. We are very happy for Prabhuji's association. Hare Krishna Sanatana Dharma Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining this early morning for you, very early morning for you, and giving us your association. I now hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to be taking this opportunity to unmute everybody so that there are no sudden noises in between. People just sometimes get unmuted and there are some background sounds that come. Just to avoid that, I just kind of unmuted everyone. Requesting all the wonderful devotees, if possible, please turn on your videos. That'd be really nice, very encouraging. If possible, thank you. And keep them on. Don't turn it off. That way we remain connected. All right. So without further ado, we'll just start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaiti girim. Yat kripatamaham vande paramadam. Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram, Sri Gurum Nilatarinam. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It is indeed my great privilege, honor, and a very blissful experience for me to be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam this morning, right? So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll be really happy if some of you, at least some of you, can turn on your videos. That way I really feel connected. Even if you're doing something else, that's totally fine. But then if devotees are there, it really encourages us to speak. Thank you. So we are discussing from the 8th canto, 7th chapter. For those of you who haven't been following this series, I just want to give a quick recap. First of all, I wanted to check, are you all able to hear me very clearly? Yes, my voice is loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Sure. Thank you so much. So we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, chapter number 7. And the chapter 7 is something which is actually a very adventurous chapter. It is very adventurous and thrilling because the entire universe is in danger because of the poison, the hala poison, which was produced by the churning of the milk ocean. Yes, that's the first thing that the demigods got. Of course, Lord Vishnu had warned the demigods that the first product is going to be a dangerous one, but don't be afraid. Yes, and now was the test. They didn't have to be afraid. And this chapter is about Lord Shiva's compassion to save this entire universe by drinking the poison. Right? So the first few verses, the first 17 verses of this chapter shows about how the Supreme Lord performs various roles in the Shir Sagar Manthan. Yes. And then in 3 verses, there is halahal that is produced. And then comes a section where all the demigods, they're instructed to go to Shiva. You go to Shiva and you pray to him and he will definitely save us. Right? He's the one who will drink the poison. Who was fed poison in the childhood? Attempted. It was Putana, right? It was Putana who came. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam. Her breast was full of poison and she had come to poison the child, Krishna. And in Krishna, who is there? And in Krishna, all the incarnations are there, including Guna avatars. And one of the Guna avatar is Shiva. So when poison came, Krishna called Shiva. Shiva, you like poison, right? You take this. And it was actually the Shiva component within Krishna who drank that poison from Putana's breast also. So Shiva somehow likes to drink poison. And drinking poison is a very significant point. We'll discuss what is that. Ability to drink poison. And before drinking poison, does Shiva directly drink poison? No, Shiva understands. I am not a brahmachari. I am a grihastha. What is the meaning? Means I have a wife. What do you mean? Means I need to take permission. I need to take permission from my wife even to drink something, eat something. So he just takes permission. Oh, my dear wife, can I drink this poison? And my wife will say, all right, okay, fine. And then he takes the poison. And this section is very special. Yes, especially the verse. We are going to discuss 43 and 44. 44 is very special verse. It's very, very special verse. Because that is going to teach us how we can please Krishna. How Krishna is pleased. That is very nicely taught in verse number 44. So 43, we have only the translation. And 44 is the main verse of our discussion. It's a brilliant verse. You'll all love it. It's one of my favorite verses in this section too. And this whole section, which we're discussing today, is a series of 41, 42, 43, 7 verses. One more, there would have been, this would have been like Ashtakam. Okay, it is actually technically 6 verses only. These 6 verses, they glorify Shiva. The glories of Shiva. They are there in the Bhagavatam. All right. So let's go to today's verses. We'll discuss the 44th elaborately. 43rd, we'll just see. Tasyapi darshayamasa swaviryam jalakalmashah yachakara gale neelam taccha sadhur vibhushanam. Okay. Tasyapi darshayam asa. So this personality, Shiva, Tasya, what did he? Darshayam asa. He demonstrated or he exhibited. He showed us. Thus, he showed us this. Swaviryam jala kalmasha. So from this ocean, that kalmash, the poison that came up, the poison that came out from this jala or the milk ocean, right? Swaviryam, he exhibited his own power or potency. Virya is this strength, potency. Yat chakara gale neelam. And as soon as he drank the poison, what happened? Neelam. His throat became Nili, he became Neelakantha. Or sometimes he's also called as Kalakantha. How many of you know there is one Shiva Sahasranama? How many of you knew this? Yes, there are 1,000 names of Shiva also. Yes, I've read the Shiva Sahasranama. And in that, the 870th name of Shiva is Kalakantha. One who has a blackish throat or one who has a bluish throat. He's worshipped. Actually, this particular bluish form is come as a result of poison. So as such, it is going to be a dushanam. What is the meaning of dushanam? Dushanam means it's a black spot. It's a blemish. It's a contamination. Bluish face is becoming blue or something is becoming blue means we say, right, he bet him black and blue. Right? He bet him black and blue. It is actually a contamination. But when the same thing is in connection with Krishna, in connection with the devotee, because he has done something which is out of compassion. Why did Shiva do all this? The next verse will tell the theme. The verse is out of compassion. And that is actually Vibhushanam. Sadhur Vibhushanam. Wow. It is actually a saintly ornament. Ornament of a saintly person. Tacha Sadhur Vibhushanam. So because it was even sometimes warriors, they don't try to heal their scars. If you read Ramayana, in Ramayana it is said that Hanuman was glancing through the body of Ravana just to see how he looks. Hanuman's kind of immediate impression of Hanuman when he saw Ravana, it was, wow, what a personality this person has. It was just for a moment, a fraction of a second. And then immediately the thought came, he spat at the thought. Rascal, he is kidnapping my mother Sita. He kidnapped her and took her away, lusty rogue. No, I cannot appreciate such a person. This person is not worthy of any appreciation. But then Ravana's chest is described. His chest had the thunderbolt of Indra. He had taken that on his chest. Yes, his chest had the trident of various demigods. It had the sword marks of sword. It had the marks of Mushti Prahar, the fists. It had the marks of even Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra had cut some part of his body. So that way, if you see the description of Ravana's chest, he had preserved all that because for Kshatriya, those are all ornaments that he has earned during the war. The first thing that a Kshatrani, a wife of Kshatriya, would do as soon as her husband would come from a battle is ask him to turn around, show your back. And if there are any wounds in the back, she would reject her husband. She would say, get out. You go and fight and come. Get some wounds in the front and come. You guys, you've tried to run away from the battle. You covered. Go get some wounds in the chest and come back. Such are wives. Hare Krishna. She's not happy her husband is safely returned home. She's saying, you guy, you have taken hits in the back. You've been running away. Go, coward. I don't want to be with you. Go get some hits in the chest and come back. Even in course of this, you die. I don't mind. So these are all called bhushanam, vibhushanam, ornaments for a Kshatriya. Similarly, this particular marking on the neck of Shiva, it reminds all of us of that great activity of compassion that Shiva had for the entire universe. It's a compassionate activity. And thus it is not a dushanam, it is vibhushanam. Bhushanam means an ornament. And vibhushanam means a very special ornament. And whose ornament? Sadhur vibhushanam. A saintly person. Why? Because a saintly person has compassion. Translation. Anyone would like to read the translation of this verse? Okay, yes. Sudhakar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of the Lord.
That's why I just told Shiva Sahasranam 870. He's called as Nilakanta, is also called as Kalakanta. Okay. Tapyante lokatapena sadavaha prayasho janaha paramaradhanam taddi purushasya kilatmanaha. Actually, if a person who is newly listening to this verse might run away. But at the same time, a person who deeply understands this purport, this is the essence of how to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the meaning? One word is very important. Tapyante. Tapan or tapya means to, it's actually heating up, but it also means to suffer. And Prabhupada writes, voluntarily suffer. Yes, why do voluntary suffer? Sat sadhava, or these saintly persons. Who suffers voluntarily? These saintly persons suffer voluntarily. As such, saintly persons don't have any karma. What is the first lakshana or the characteristic of sadhana bhakti? Anyone knows? What are the first characteristics of sadhana bhakti? The first characteristic of sadhana bhakti is kleshagni. Kleshagni means your kleshas, your sufferings are destroyed. So do sadhus have sufferings? No. As such, they have no suffering in their account. Then why do they suffer? They have to suffer voluntarily. For whom? Lokatapena. They want to suffer for others. How many of you saw the Mahavatar Narsimha movie? Yes, only few of you. You all didn't see? That's one chance the Hare Krishna devotees get to officially go with brahmacharis, with the entire congregation, with tilak in dhoti kurta to the theatre to watch Mahavatar Narsimha. We should never leave such an opportunity. Yes, so many of you did. That's very nice. That's very wonderful. So there, if you see Prahlad Maharaj offers this prayer, he offers this prayer that let me suffer. Let me suffer for the pangs and pains of everyone else. Yes, oh Lord, you give me, I'll suffer, you liberate everyone else. This is always the mood of a Mahajana or a great soul. He prays that, the boy prays. Lokatapena. I would like to suffer voluntarily for the tap or the suffering of the people in general. Prayashojana. Yes. And usually this is what all of them do. Such persons. Parama Aradhanam. Oh my God, this is the topmost way of worshipping. For example, I'm just coming from an Aradhana. I've done my deity worship and come for the class, as our Shama Gauri Mataji was telling that, yeah, it's very early for me. For those of you on EST, yes, it's 7:20 class. For me, I have to just run from Aarti and come. Yes. So that is what Aradhana. But what is the topmost Aradhana or the topmost worship that we can do? The topmost worship that we can do is accept voluntary suffering to deliver the suffering of others, to reduce or mitigate the suffering of others. That is Paramaradhanam. Tadhi, definitely. That is the activity. This is the way. And it's Aradhana for whom? It's worship towards whom? Purushasya. Unto that Supreme Personality who is Akhila Atmana. He's the super soul of everyone. Akhila Atmana. Tapyante lokatapena sadhavo prayasojana paramaradhanam taddi purushasya akhilatmana. Devija, you had raised your hand so you can read the translation. You can raise your hand again. After Sudhakar, you had raised hand, right? Yes. Read the translation.
It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So what does this translate to? Now, when Prabhupada gets such a verse, he becomes very happy. Because he wanted our mission is a preaching mission. Before we go to the purport, I would like to ask all of you a question. What exactly are the sufferings that one has to take if somebody is preaching? If you have experience or you have experience of seeing somebody, what experiences? What is there? What is the suffering involved in preaching? Anyone? What is that pain? It takes pain to preach? Neglect. Okay. You go to, that's a nice one. You go, people neglect you. They don't even look at you. Reject you. They say, no, we are not interested. Insult, ridicule from family, friends, and peers. People mock us. My God. Not paying attention to speaker, not turning on videos for the speaker. Yes, you're right. Taunting from others. They question everything. Insincere audience. We were once called Hare Krishna salesmen. Yeah, that's how they address. You guys are doing business. You are not doing bhakti, you're doing business. You're selling books, and after getting money, you people will enjoy. How much percentage do you get? How much commission you get for selling these books? Tell us. How much salary you get for worshipping deities in temple? People get into arguments, it's sometimes even verbally aggressive, yes. I'll tell you some more. Now, this is something that newcomers give you, newcomers, but even devotees. Now, somebody has, you're preaching to someone, they have problem. We tell them, chant Hare Krishna, be happy. And we all know it doesn't work that way. There'll definitely be sufferings. So one has to spend a lot of time in counseling, in caring for people, sacrificing one's own time. Yes, sacrificing personal health, sacrificing family time. Yes. So that way one makes a kind of sacrifice. But that pleases Krishna. Again, one takes a lot of pains to cook. Now, program means there has to be prasad. So go purchase, cooking, transporting, taking out extra time. Yes. You don't get hourly pay for preaching and investing those hours in developing people. Correct? Staying back and answering their questions. Yes, it takes a lot of pains. But if this particular pain is taken, or we take this pain, it pleases Krishna. It is, in fact, the highest form of worship that we can do. Okay, now we go to the purport. I'm just seeing the size of the purport so we can do time management. All right. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in the activities for welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. Yes. Wow. Everybody wants to be recognized in this world, right? Everyone wants to be. How many of us have tendency to impress others? Yes. How many of them watching? Oh, yes. In seclusion, we may do bhajan in certain way. But if there are 10 people, we'll do bhajan in different way. The 100, even more different. 1,000, much more. It's going to be recorded and this is going to be put on the YouTube for 10,000 and lakhs of people to watch. Yes. Then there'll be even further performance. Their attitude towards something, some activity, changes drastically when there are many more people watching us. Happens, right? When few people are there for the class, okay, 10% energy. So many people, house full class, everyone turning on video, then there's a totally different energy altogether. Let's give it, right? So we have tendency, this is actually a tendency to impress. A tendency to impress people. Sometimes when the same old people come, these people know me. But some newcomer comes, oh, now I want to create a good impression on this newcomer. Let me do it different. Yes. So things change. So everybody wants to be recognized. But actually, the only person we need to be bothered about being recognized is Krishna. And this is a secret, a very great secret this verse is telling, how we can be recognized very easily by the Lord. Very easily. And the way we can be easily recognized is by preaching. And that's what Prabhupada is going to go ahead and say. Prabhupada is quoting the famous 18 chapter verses. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 18:168-69, remember this. Remember this. Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshu vidasyati. Bhakti mai param kritva mame vaishyasya asamshaya. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priya krittama bhavita nacha me tasman anya priyataro bhuvi. He says very clearly, these two verses, that anybody who speaks this confidential message, which means preaching, either you distribute books, you give lecture, or you manage. Everybody has a different capacity to serve. Right? Pranair, Arthair, Dhiya, and Vacha. These are the four capacities in which we can serve. Right? There are Pranair, which means these are missionaries, not necessarily brahmacharis or sannyasis. There are also dedicated grihasthas, whose life is how to preach Krishna consciousness and distribute this Krishna consciousness to everyone. Every day they are planning, and this is one of even the symptoms of an Uttamadhikari. If you read NOI, Prabhupada writes Uttamadhikari, one of the definitions of Uttamadhikari is one who is constantly thinking about how to distribute this Krishna conscious message to everybody, how to preach. So, person is dedicated 24 hours, that's what he's doing. That is Prani. Arthir, all right, I don't have time, but I definitely can give money. I can this is also good. I'll contribute money for the preaching. So what is required? Okay, prasadam, I'll sponsor prasad. You want to give books at a certain discounted rate? All right, I'll contribute for that purpose. Okay, fine. You guys can go and distribute books. I will pay for the cab. I'll pay for the petrol, the fuel. I'll pay for the gas. No problem. That I'll pay for the transportation of books. So there are so many ways in which one can. There's a program going to be held. Okay, my sponsorship, Prasad is mine. You can take my place. You can use my place for the program. Arthaj. Then Diya. Well, I'm good at managing. I'll promote the event. So the Diya, intelligent. Diya means intelligence. And intelligence can be done by management. I'll manage the event. I will promote the event. I'll do publicity. Right? I can do all these things. I will ensure that there is absolutely no disturbance in the sound vibration, in the beautiful talk. Yes, everybody will be able to hear the katha very nice. I'll ensure that. And then vacha. Okay, I'm very good at speaking. All right, I will glorify Krishna. I can speak in a way that people can understand, and people will be convinced to chant and also become dedicated devotees. So these are different ways in which one can engage and preach and become very quickly recognized by the Supreme Lord. Yes, in this world there are different kinds of welfare activities. Can you give example of welfare activities that people do in this world? I'm not talking about Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the topmost welfare activity. What are other welfare activities which are not topmost, but people do? Okay, helping the poor for food. Okay, you're giving food, distributing food to others. Then building orphanages, old age homes, a charity to health research organization. Some relative died because of cancer. Okay, I'll open a cancer institute. Yes, many answers. Giving random charity to charitable trusts, educational institutions. Correct. People they feel, oh, everyone should be. Uh, Literacy rate is very important. If there is literacy, there won't be unemployment. If there is no unemployment, people will be happy. That's what they think. Free education services. All right, I'll volunteer to go and teach. Yes, to those underprivileged who cannot afford schooling. I will distribute food to the homeless. Okay. I'll go and give counseling and emotional support to people who are unable to, get rid of miseries of life. I'll give free vaccinations. Nice. Okay. Building homes. Yes, I'll construct homes for those who cannot afford homes. Okay. NGOs. I'll go and volunteer for some number of hours in the NGOs. Nice. Help during natural calamities. Correct. Whenever there are some kind of earthquakes or some kind of famines, I'll go and serve there. Okay. Refugees. Yeah, refugees rehab. I'll go and contribute there. Okay. But the highest welfare activity is spreading Krishna consciousness. We all know story of that particular very poor person. There was a very poor boy. He was shivering in the cold, tattered clothes. So anybody would pass by the road would feel some compassion. One person gave him $1. The second person passing by gave him $10. The third person gave him a plate of meal. The fourth person gave him a blanket to wrap his body. And the fifth person who came there, he saw, wait a minute, you are son of that millionaire. Wow, what are you doing here? Just come, I'll take you to your father. So he takes this person to his father. So who did welfare for this child? This boy, who did welfare activity towards him? Everybody. But who did the highest welfare? The highest welfare was done by that person who takes that boy back to the father. And that's what we are doing. Preaching Krishna consciousness means to connect the jiva to the Supreme Father. There cannot be any activity which is superior to this. That's why the supreme welfare activity. We are like those lost children who have lost from our parents. Yes. But the supreme welfare activity is to connect back. Other welfare activities cannot be effective because the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. Yeah, true. You build homes for people. You know what they're going to do? If somebody is destined to be poor, laws of karma, you build home for such people. You know what they'll do? They will give that home on rent and they will go and stay in some kind of thatched roof. And whatever money comes from the rent, they will buy alcohol and other kinds of intoxication and spoil their life. But their conditions are not going to change because that's their karma. You got the point? Again, you feed the people who are hungry, they will come again with a begging hand. Come on, feed us more. There's no end to this. They'll come again the next day with begging, please give me some food. And they die, they'll come in the next life again begging for food. So karma doesn't leave. So this is something that cannot be so effective. Because the life of Krishna consciousness, you take them beyond the karma. It is by destiny or the laws of karma that one must suffer or enjoy. Yes, the amount of suffering or enjoyment that is there in the quota of a person, there has to be. That is something which will never get. You cannot change that. If somebody has some component to suffer today, he will suffer that much. Somebody has some component to enjoy, he'll enjoy that much. So nobody can control one's pain or pleasure for that particular day. No. So laws of nature are compared by Prabhupada to be like a court order. For instance, if one is given a court order, he must accept it, whether it brings suffering or profit. You cannot deny it. So thus everybody is under the obligations to karma and its reactions. No one can change this. And this is what precisely is being done by all the so-called philanthropists. You've heard this term? Philanthropists or altruists. They're trying to do some short-term welfare program plan. But nobody can change each other's karma. Just nobody can change each other's karma. But what can change karma? It is bhakti that can change the karma. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti vajam. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahma Samhita says this. It is only by the process of bhakti that we can change the karma. We can change this action and reaction. That's why the Shastra says, Taseva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyada. Yes, therefore, you have that particular purpose. What are we living entities doing in this world? I personally remember my childhood, and you can all tell me if you wish to do this. In childhood, we lived in an independent home. And because we lived in an independent home, I was very fascinated whenever we went to any kind of buildings where there were lifts, elevators. Correct? So what I would do is whenever I get a chance, I'd play an elevator. Go up and come down. Go up and come down. Press the highest floor, go there, and then press the basement. Go there, up and down. How many of you played like this in elevators in childhood? Anyone? No? But that's what we are all doing. We living entities are playing. Brahmatam upariyadaha. Brahmatam means to roam around. Where? Upari means to go up. The upper planetary systems. Other lower planetary systems. We are just going up and down like these mischievous children. But by going up, going down in all the three planetary systems, nalabhyate yad, that which you don't get even by roaming in the three planetary systems, one has to have such a purpose, such a hetu, prayateta, and that should be our endeavor. We should endeavor in that direction. That's what Bhagavatam is teaching us. Tasseva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyada. Tallabhyate dukkhavatanyata sukham kalena sarvatra kabhira rambhasa. That's the next part of the verse. So what does Bhakti Vinod Thakur say? Naam vina kichu nahi to aaro, chauda bhuvana maji. As such, even if you see in the 14 planetary systems, what is there? There is nothing. There is nothing more meaningful than the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This entire three planetary systems is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. There is nothing else you will find other than that. Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. That is what is there. So we need that purpose which is beyond this, going in this. And what is that? That is Krishna consciousness. One should endeavor for that which is never obtained by wandering up and down in the universe as a result of the reactions of karma. What is that? One should endeavor to become Krishna conscious. So this is the only effort. Endeavor to become Krishna conscious. And while we are endeavoring to become Krishna conscious, one should try to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Wow. All over the world. Once Prabhupada gave a qualification. You know who is qualified to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world? Prabhupada writes it in one of the purports. Anyone would like to try? What is the qualification required to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world? Can I tell you? You all know the answer. You know what Prabhupada writes? The qualification is to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra minimum on beats and to follow the 4 regulative principles, which is no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. We just do this, we will be empowered to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. The problem with us is we are not doing it. We are not properly chanting 16 rounds. We are not properly following 4 regs. We may not be grossly breaking the 4 regs, but subtly we may be breaking the 4 regs in a subtle platform. And chanting, yes. Chanting, are we all confident we are chanting 108 clear Mahamantras on the beads every round? Fully, are we confident? 108 very clear Mahamantras on every round. That means 16 into 108. We are chanting 1728 clear Mahamantras every day. How many of you can confidently say we are doing it? No, right? And that is why there is no empowerment. We are not properly doing it. We are skipping the beats. And how one breaks the 4 regs in subtle way? Meat eating. Of course, we don't eat meat. But what is the principle? The principle is to cause violence. We are causing violence to others. That is subtle way of breaking this principle of non-violence, ahimsa. Intoxication. We may not be getting intoxication, but we don't control our senses and go to various social media and other places and waste our time. Then there is illicit sex. Illicit sex is breaking cleanliness. But what about internal cleanliness? When we get impure thoughts, do we immediately tell Krishna, please cancel these thoughts? I don't want this. I want only you. That is maintaining the internal purity. And finally, last but not the least, gambling. Gambling is actually to speculate, not speaking the truth. This is also one principle that we may be subtly breaking sometimes. So we have to take care. We don't break these principles. So if we do this, we are empowered to preach all over the world. And such a person is understood to be performing the best welfare activity. And the Lord is automatically very pleased with him. Even Prabhupada says, a book distributor is going to go back to Godhead. Because preaching doesn't mean just book distribution. Preaching, that is a contact. But along with contact, there has to be cultivation and caring also. All three. 3 C's we call it. Contact, cultivate, and care. Book distribution is a contact. It's a beginning. Cultivation is teaching them Prabhupada books. Let's systematically, one by one book, we teach them what is there. For that, we need to understand it first. And then whatever doubts are there, practical doubts, we give them good solution. Caring for people. So all these 3 things constitute preaching Krishna consciousness. The best welfare activity. And Lord is pleased with it. If the Lord is pleased with him, what is left for him to achieve? Yeah, there is nothing more. If one has been recognized by the Lord, even he does not ask the Lord for anything, the Lord who is within everyone supplies him whatever he wants. Yes. Because he is Ananya Bhakta. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I will personally take care of to give this person whatever he lacks and to provide, to preserve what he has. Both. Again, it is stated here, Tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayashojana. Paramaradhanam taddi. That's a beautiful verse. Yes. Purushasya akhila atmana. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness, since the conditioned souls are suffering only for the want of Krishna. Yes, this is the only suffering. And this is what repeatedly the Bhagavatam emphasizes. Why is somebody suffering? Because of forgetting Krishna. And how will the suffering stop? When you remember Krishna. Even in the life of a devotee. Why is suffering coming? Because we are not somehow remembering Krishna. Our remembrance of Krishna is not there. And when the suffering goes away, when we remember Krishna, then why suffering come to our lives? To make us remember Krishna. So whenever there's suffering, oh, please, I need to start remembering Krishna more. And automatically the suffering is gone. So the purpose of suffering given to a devotee or anyone for that matter is only for one purpose, and that is to remember Krishna. The Lord himself also comes to mitigate suffering of humanity, which means actually this is the mission of Lord. Even when Prabhupada was asked in one of the interviews, you can see this, you are ever well-wisher. So how long is this mission that your mission is just about 1 year, Prabhupada? No. This mission was started 500 years before by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is his mission. He very confidently says, this is Lord's mission. Because it's Lord's mission to reclaim the conditioned souls. And the devotee is simply assisting. Okay, we'll also assist. We'll assist the Lord in his mission. And thus he is pleased. Because his mission is being taken care of. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushpratam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. What do you do? To deliver the pious, to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. So this is Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 7th and 8th verse. All the Shastras conclude, therefore, that spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is the best welfare activity in the world. Repeatedly, Prabhupada is just hammering this. Preach in some way. Because the ultimate benefit this bestows upon people in general, the Lord very quickly recognizes such a service performed by a devotee. This is the sum and substance. Yes, this is the sum and substance of everything. So right away, I'm just taking this quote. So we should never ever lose the opportunity for preaching. Yes, this is something we need to take care of. Wow, that's nice. We just assist. We don't do Krishna consciousness. We assist. We assist in this particular process and wonders happen. That's why we have the 4 statements of ISKCON. Yes. What do we do? What is the whole point? Why we have this mission? The 4 statements, beautiful statements. The first statement is preaching is the essence. Yes, so every activity that we do is preaching actually. A pujari decorating the deities, blessing the deities is preaching. Somebody cleaning the temple is preaching because when people see the temple is clean, they would like to come. Book distribution is preaching. Cooking nice bhoga for Lord and offering is preaching. Speaking and glorifying Krishna is preaching. Painting for Krishna is preaching. Decorating the temple is preaching. Telling others to come to temple is preaching. For the programs is preaching. Telling one person to come to the class is preaching. Everything is preaching. That is the essence. That's why our movement is made, to preach and include more members in the family. Family of devotees should keep growing. And what is the basis of such a preaching? Books. Books are the basis. So we should preach based on Prabhupada's books. We should not preach our own things. Give our own example. Just repeat in parampara. A person may speak in a very stylish manner, but he may impress some people, but their hearts will not be transformed. On the other hand, if a person is simply repeating what Prabhupada is saying, then we'll see that many people are taking up to the process of chanting. Why we are not becoming serious devotees, why we are not able to make serious devotees, is we are not sufficiently teaching from Prabhupada's books. Teaching from Prabhupada's books is going to create that miracle. Simply, if one person has a group of few people and they come regularly to read Prabhupada books, to discuss Prabhupada books, discuss around Prabhupada books, there's going to be miracles. And then, who can preach? Purity is the force. I got a very, now unmessy, we are nobody's pure. But we got a very, very nice definition of this purity is force. The real meaning of purity is to see purity in others. That's what the books teach. Everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. So when we see that purity in others, we can preach to others. And finally, utility is the principle. This Krishna consciousness movement is so amazing, we can use everything in Krishna's service. Yukta Vairagya. And when we do this, we'll be very easily recognized by Krishna. Alright, I'd like to pause here and open the floor for any questions, comments. Anybody wants to ask something, say something. I'm going to unmute everyone. Who wants to speak, they can go ahead and speak.
Yes, Devi, can ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you for this wonderful class. Just wanted to ask you a question, Prabhuji, because you mentioned that's as devotees, some of us are neophytes, so we go to our mentors, our seniors, our spiritual masters for guidance on some of our struggles or our sufferings, but that in this case, they're also suffering because they're giving their time. So they're sacrificing their time for family, for their sadhana, for everything else. So how can one seek guidance without making others suffer? Because it ends up seeming like these individuals, neophytes such as I, am being selfish. If I'm asking for help, if that impacts the individual that's helping you out. So how do you find a balance where you're getting relief from your suffering, but you're not causing someone else to suffer for helping you?
All right. So I'll answer in 2 ways. A mentee or a counselor or a disciple is like a thirsty person. And the superior in whatever capacity the person is serving, either as a mentor, a counselor, or also we talk about a spiritual master, is like a reservoir of water. So depending on the reservoir, if it's a well, the capacity is limited. If it's a pond, it's a little more. So river is much more. Ocean, great. Of course, you cannot drink ocean water or river water. I'm just giving an example here. So based on the capacity, they will be able to serve, right? And everybody is connected to that reservoir. So the main, actually, ocean is Krishna. Krishna Karuna Sindhu. He is the ocean of that mercy. Others all are connected to that ocean. There's tributaries. So we need to understand this is the analogy. So when a person is thirsty, he cannot think, oh, if I take water from the well, I'm going to dry up the well. That's not such a good plan. So let me not drink water, let me die. That is not good. At the same time, it's very important that a person be mindful. Who is a person who's wasting the time by asking unwanted, absurd, unnecessary, and stupid questions? That we should be careful we don't do. At the same time, we have to take care that we can go prepared. Okay, I have what I would do to save time. I'll draft a mail giving the background situation, a mail or an audio note, and ask them to go through it. And then, basis that, please give me some time. I would like to take half an hour time slot. I have questions ready made. Those questions also I'll send in advance before the meeting. So let that superior go through. And there I will talk less. I will listen more. Because whatever I wanted to speak, I've mentioned in the mail, audio note. That's where I save time of my superior. Right? So all the storytelling business, etc., I can do like that. There are maybe some details which if they want to ask, they can ask. From my side, I give it all in written, audio note, and then my questions are there. Now I like to listen. So this is a very intelligent way of taking time of superior. And with the superior is speaking, we take a note down. That gives the assurance, okay, sincere, he'll follow. Take a note, apply it, try to apply, and keep reporting. So be a good subordinate. That way we won't trouble the superior.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sudhakar Prabhu, we can take one here, one there.
Yeah, I think Sachidananda Prabhuji is there. Yeah, can you please go ahead?
Yes, Sachidanand Prabhu.
Okay. You are muted, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, are you hearing?
Yes, yes.
How can it be ensured that we are not missing 108 bits? We are doing 108 bits per.
Yeah, that is why we do some extra rounds. That's a practical tip I can give.
That's
right?
okay. Okay.
We can do some extra. Because we will miss. Tuar is human. We'll definitely miss some beats. And every round. So, how much we can see the time. One more thing we can see is time.
How
we
many
can
extra rounds should be done?
How much ever you missed?
That I can't see.
Yes, you see time. That's another way. Practically, you can see the time you've taken. Suppose I was instructed by my teachers that no matter what happened, you sit, even my rounds used to get over when I was like sometimes 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 50 minutes, like that. So you still sit and complete 2 hours. Chant for 2 hours.
So I am doing, while counting on fingers, I also see times that it is not less than 6:30 minutes.
Then you are very sincere. You do that, keep doing that. And you want to chant more, you can chant more. Okay? Thank you.
Prabhuji, can you take one more question?
There are some
Jayanti,
questions in
Madam
the
has.
chat also. Jayanti, we can take Jayanti Mataji's question. And I'll quickly answer the questions in the chat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare
much for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, my question is, you were talking about the energy and the attitude that one has when it comes to being among few devotees or more than, few devotees, like 100 devotees, right? So my question is, Prabhuji, when we are in the association of devotees, the mood itself is different. In the sense, when we see the senior devotees, we get that humility from them. The way they speak, the humility becomes contagious, and we also tend to become very humble. But outside of this setup, outside of being in the association, this mood is not getting continued. So does it mean that we are being hypocrite, or does it mean that it is natural? And but how do I take forward this?
I get your question. I hope others have also got the question, but I need to answer it. I'll answer it this way. Usually it is natural to be enthusiastic when the devotees are naturally enthusiastic. So we get that enthusiasm also. And it is only us who can answer this question. Am I doing this to impress this person or these people? Or I am being enthusiastic and this enthusiasm is a result of the devotees who are around.
Hmm.
So that is the subtle game. We have to be honest to ourselves. You get the point. We know it. We know it. It's not that we clearly know. Am I doing this to impress, or am I doing this to serve? Am I getting this enthusiasm, contagious enthusiasm, because of the audience who are there? Or is it the enthusiasm which has come because I want to impress this particular one person who's here, or these two people who are here?
Hmm.
So this is very clear.
What about inadvertent? Without any intention, because the energy is so contagious that we forget, whether I'm doing it intentionally or I'm not doing it intentionally. Can that happen, Prabhuji?
It can. But still, a devotee is supposed to be mindful. Mindful to ensure that we are doing it with the right intention, because bhakti is all about intentions. Bhakti, more than the content, is about intent. So we have to watch our intentions. And
Absolutely.
again, good intentions are not good enough. We need to have the right action also. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayanti Mataji. We'll quickly touch upon others' questions. Okay. Can you elaborate on utility is the principle? Yukta Vairagya. Mainly, that is what is utility is the principle, which means you use everything in Krishna's service. Does passive smoking also break the four regulative principles? Well, if you're best not to be passive smokers, leave the place. We're unable to leave the place, then what to do? Again, it's about intention. Nobody enjoys passive smoking. Unable to follow 5 regulative principles, like not doing 16 rounds of japa, breaks the duality of pass or fail. My God, it's a very... Okay, whatever I'm able to understand of the question, I'll quickly answer. Not doing 60 rounds of japa breaks the duality of pass or fail. Okay, I'm not able to understand your question, but all I can say is you try level best to follow the 4 regs and chant 16 rounds. Prabhuji, spreading Krishna consciousness, people around are heavily into their religion and not sure how to do it without overstepping or offending them. Our intention should never be to convert. Our intention should be that you become better lovers of God. Nothing else. We want you to love God. If we have the right intention, things are taken rightly. And we should not have a sense of superiority that my religion is better, I'm better. Okay. Can you elaborate on 3 C's? Contact, cultivate, care. Contact are like book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, where people are aware about our programs. We promote a program. That's called contact. Cultivate is where you're giving the classes and conducting the programs. And care is where you're answering questions and you're one-on-one taking care of people, ensuring the needs are met. Yes. There's a last DM question. When we put efforts and bring people, other devotees try to grab them and gossip and damage their faith on us. And we see these people go away after some time. This is so painful how to handle this. So what I do personally is I'm very overprotective with newcomers. Sometimes it may happen that I may cultivate newcomers separately for some time, develop that strong bonding relationship, and give them a full free hand. Whatever doubts you get, whatever anyone tells, whatever happens, please come and communicate. Talk. We develop that kind of bonding. Then I introduce them to a larger community. I do this. Right? I do this. Yeah. Thank you. That's one way we can cultivate people. Okay. Thank you all very much. It was a very amazing experience to be serving all of you. I'd like to thank you all very much for being such a very patient and lovely audience. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Let's offer Vaishnava pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
जय
Chandra
जय
Prabhu
हरे